In case you missed it, here's Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.
Now is the time.
And now it's time for...
Are you kidding me?
Well, this will either make you more hungry for breakfast or maybe have you skip breakfast for a little bit.
Yeah. If you're a cheese fan, this one is up your alley.
So not an April Fool's joke, although it's the 12th of July. Burger King, not here though. Burger King over in Thailand has a new burger, but it's not really a burger at all.
They're calling it the real cheeseburger, but there's no meat. It's just a bun with 20 slices of American cheese on it.
So that's like the cheese slices.
Yes.
So
not the great cheese.
20
of those like Kraft singles.
Now, I'm a cheese guy, but I don't think I would go for that. You've got to look it up. You can Google this to see a photo of how much cheese that is. 20 slices is roughly 1 pound of cheese between two buns.
Now, the photo in the ad makes it look like it's kind of melted.
Okay. Which might make it a little more appetizing.
Warm it up a little bit. But there is a YouTube video of a guy eating one, and it looks like they barely even heated it up.
For its initial run, they're only charging you $3, although I don't think I would pay even that much for this. But they'll eventually sell it for, get this, $11 for this real cheeseburger with 20 slices of American cheese on it. Sorry, what did I say? 20? I meant $11. $11, but still, that's crazy. So it sounds like they plan to make it a permanent menu option over in Thailand. So no word if it's coming over here yet or not.
But apparently you can kind of hack it already. They say to just order a cheeseburger with no ketchup, mustard, pickles, or meat, and then ask for 19 extra slices of cheese.
I'm sure they get that all the time.
You know what, though? I mean, $3, that is a good deal, but yeah. I don't even think you could pay me to eat this.
Or you can just make it at home where you grab a bun, you can open up a brick of cheese, put it on the bun, put it in the microwave, and enjoy that yourself. The real cheeseburger, it's a Burger King over in Thailand, 20 slices of cheese, no burger on it, and that's all you get. That's a big old nope for me. A very dull time in sports this last couple of weeks. You had the last couple of days off, and you're like, man, there's no sports on other than like the All-Star festivities in baseball.
Well, yeah, like I picked like the worst time to come back. This is when there's kind of a dead spot in sports because we're on the All-Star break.
Right. It's like if
for Major League Baseball, and I mean, other than Wimbledon, what else is really going on?
If you had found like the International Beer Pong Championship or something on TSN, you would have sat and watched it all night.
Is this when we get ESPN 8, the Ocho?
The Ocho. They probably would have International Beer Pong on it. But the Major League Baseball All-Star Game did happen in Seattle yesterday. 4 Jays were named as the All-Star team. 1 Tiger as well. The National League, I think they had a big drought, didn't they, for like 10 or 11 years?
Yeah, they hadn't won a game in a long time, but thanks to a 2-run homer in the 8th inning from Elias Diaz, was also named the game's MVP. The National League rallied for a 3-2 win over the American League last night.
Now, if baseball or the All-Star Game or both isn't necessarily your thing, I'm pretty sure you can appreciate this. One of the All-Stars, a Philadelphia Philly, former Tiger actually too, Nick Castellanos. I guess they were kind of hard up in questions. And
it's the All-Star Game. You start asking them silly things after a while. It's like media day before the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, the first 5 minutes is like legit hard questions, and then you get into the silly things.
Like, who is your favorite superhero? So if I gave you, Cheryl, the chance, top 3 superheroes that came to your mind right away, who would those top 3 superheroes
Probably
be?
like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
That's a good one. Yeah, okay.
I like Wonder Woman.
That is good. Green Lantern's
Or you go
up
any
there.
of the Marvel characters, Captain America,
Iron Man, that kind of thing. Nick Castellanos, who's a Philadelphia Philly, he had an off the board answer as to who his favorite superhero is.
Everyone was asked their favorite superheroes. Yeah. You said Scooby-Doo.
Sure.
I didn't realize Scooby-Doo was a superhero. Can you kind of explain his superhero lore?
I mean, well, first off, he's a dog, right? And he can talk.
Fair enough. Okay.
And he solves mysteries. So I think that a dog that can talk and helps people by solving mysteries, I think is a superhero.
Checks off all the superhero boxes, has special skills, and he helps people.
Correct.
Noah Chast was the interviewer there. He kind of caught off guard as to the answer and the explanation from Nick Castellanos saying Scooby-Doo is his favorite superhero. Now, on the surface, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, because I'm like, well, he doesn't have any superpowers. And then I'm like, but wait. I mean, you think about Batman. He doesn't have any superpowers. He just has a lot of money to come up with fancy gadgets.
I suppose. Now, is Scooby-Doo really, would he be considered the superhero, or is it more of like the whole ensemble? Like Shaggy, Velma, all of them.
Well, I would also argue, too, I don't think that Scooby is really helping them solve crimes. He's more running away from the fake ghosts.
He's
and
actually
and
hindering.
eating Scooby snacks and hanging out in the van.
He's hindering the whole operation.
Yeah, and if he does help them catch it, it's usually by accident as he's trying to run away.
So, in terms of Nick Castellanos' answer and explanation, it's a dog who can talk and help people by solving mysteries. So he's helping the whole group in solving
Well,
this
and the fact that there's a dog that can talk, that's crazy in itself.
Right. That's a superhero quality all on its own here. So I think maybe we'll further this. Is Scooby-Doo a superhero in your mind? Text Scooby yes or Scooby no to 519-351-6300. We'll get your views on this. So we'll get our own impromptu, informal vote on whether you think Scooby-Doo should be considered a superhero, according to Phillies outfielder Nick Castellanos. Scooby yes or Scooby no to 519-351-6300. I think we've all been through this at least a time or two. You were just saying that it happens fairly frequently. You're out for a meal. You're out with family. You're out with friends. Everybody's ready to order except you.
So you tell the waiter, right, come to me last. Go around the rest of the table.
Right. So, if you have a large group of people, that might work out. You have a couple of extra minutes to figure out what you want. Waiter takes everyone's order. The pressure mounts, however, as he or she comes around to you. So much so that when it's finally your turn, you just blurt out whatever, like something simple maybe. Yeah, I'll have a grilled cheese and fries, just to get it over with. But then regret sets in.
Yeah, about 2 minutes later, you're like, I actually really wanted something else. Well, you're not alone. Apparently, about 30% of us experience what they call menu anxiety.
I never thought of this before, but it is a thing. A new survey conducted south of the border finds younger generations are far more likely to have anxiety while ordering at a restaurant. 41% of Gen Z and millennials, so you're in that 18 to 43 range, compared with only 15% of Gen Xers and baby boomers. Younger generations are also more likely to let others order first, so they're able to see what they're getting.
Now, one way to reduce menu anxiety might be looking at the menu online before you get there.
I do that all the time.
Well, it is definitely something I know the younger crowd does. 24% of people between the ages of 18 and 43 always do this, compared to only 15% for people aged 44 to 77. I know so many people, they're like, I know exactly what I'm ordering before I even get to the restaurant.
Right. But before the internet came around, before you had restaurants with websites and stuff and social media accounts, you had to go there.
But maybe to go stand, you know how restaurants used to sometimes have the menu posted outside?
Yeah. So you just go and stand outside
up and
for
stand
a while.
outside and look there? Do that instead?
If you suffer from menu anxiety when you're out with a group of friends, just know that you are not alone. Let's play a little game of which came first with your contestant Cheryl Johnstone this morning. All right, I'm going to give you five options, and you tell me which came first. All right?
Okay.
We'll rate you, we'll grade you, and we'll judge you on your performance here this morning. All right, your first one. And which came first? Was it the iPod or the birth of Justin Bieber?
iPod or Justin Bieber? Why do I feel like it was the iPod was first?
The iPod was not first.
Oh. How old's Justin Bieber now?
Justin Bieber was born in 1994.
Oh, yeah. No, that was way before the iPod then.
And the iPod, I thought the iPod came out a little bit earlier, but the iPod came out in 2001.
I remember when it came out, because I remember a few people having them when I was in college.
I remember my aunt, she was visiting from Toronto, and she came down and she showed off this new iPod. And we were just all
your
amazed.
Music's on there?
Yeah.
Wow.
In your pocket? No way.
I guess I thought Justin Bieber was younger than that.
94 he was born. All right, which came first? Starbucks or Star Wars?
Starbucks has been around for a while because it started as just like a local coffee shop in Seattle. So let's go with Starbucks.
Starbucks is...
Yes.
Good job. Starbucks was born in, 1971. 1971 in Seattle. And Star Wars came out in 77. Later on that decade. So good job. 1 for 2 so far.
Woohoo.
Which came first, Cheryl? The floppy disk. A whole generation are like, what the heck is a floppy
Remember
disk?
those? Use those all the time.
Floppy disk or Yankees great shortstop Derek Jeter?
I feel like floppy disk came first before Derek Jeter.
Floppy disk, yes, absolutely right. The floppy disk was introduced in 1971, and Derek Jeter was born in 1973. So floppy disk is right for that. 2 more. You're off to a good start. 2 out of 3. Which came first, Cheryl? Was it Grease or Saturday Night Fever?
I think it was Saturday Night Fever, wasn't it?
Saturday Night Fever is your final answer, and that is another one. Absolutely
Yes.
right. Now, that was close because Saturday Night Fever came out in 1977. Grease, the following year in 1978. You already have a passing grade.
I remember listening to, my parents have Saturday Night Fever, the soundtrack, on vinyl. And I used to listen to that all the time.
Do they still?
They still have it on vinyl, yeah.
Do they still listen to it on vinyl?
I don't know how often they're listening to their vinyl
Do they
anymore.
have the record player
They
still
have
out?
quite an eclectic collection of vinyl, though. I'll say that much.
All right, so we got 3 out of 4, so you have already passed this quiz. Now, if you want to get on the Dean's list, you can get this one right.
Okay.
Which came first? The birth of Canadian legend game show host Alex Trebek or Dairy Queen?
Ooh.
This is the slimmest of margins here out of all of them.
Oh, I'm going to go with Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen by the slimmest of margins is right. The birth of Dairy Queen happened in June of 1940, and Alex Trebek was born in late July of 1940. 4 out of 5. You're going on the Dean's list.
Woo-woo.
Graduating with honors on what came first.
Now it's time for
It's random.
Is that a fact?
Is that a fact?
4 Random Facts.
Did you know that the color orange is actually named after the fruit and not the other way around?
Really? The fruit came first, and then they named it?
Yeah. They were like, that's a really pretty color. Let's name that color orange.
I need a minute. That blows my mind.
I know. Crazy, right?
Just to make you a little insecure into where you are in life, Mozart wrote the melody to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star at the age of 5. I don't even know if I could read at the age of 5 or tie my shoes.
Oh, we're underachievers, Mike. Never going to live up to Mozart.
That's fairly apparent, yes.
I'm assuming you've seen the movie Beverly Hills Cop.
I love that movie. I love 80s movies in general.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Beverly Hills Cop 4 or 5 times.
Love it.
Yeah.
You know, starring Eddie Murphy. But originally, Beverly Hills Cop was going to be a straight action film starring Sylvester Stallone.
Oh,
His
no.
name, he would have been Axel Cabretti.
Okay. So Eddie Murphy was Axel F.
Yeah. So apparently, Sylvester Stallone pulled out of the movie, though, 2 weeks before filming was supposed to start. So the studio rewrote the movie to fit Eddie Murphy. And so then instead of it just being a straight action film, you get Eddie's comedy chops in there, too.
Thank goodness Sly Stallone pulled out, because I don't think that would have fit.
No, definitely not.
I don't think so.
Can't imagine it any other way.
And here's something to permeate through your brain as you're working later on today. On average, an office worker will use your left hand for 56% of what you type on a keyboard. 56% on your left hand. Something to distract you and check out a little bit later on today in the office.
Today's
1, 2, 3, 4.
4
So random.
Random.
Give the public the facts.
4 Random Facts.
So it's very much vacation season, as you had the chance to have a week away, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I wasn't away for the whole week, but, about 3 or 4 days, which was nice.
Dave is enjoying some R&R with the family. I think just doing a few things around Chatham Kent here.
And you're off for a couple weeks coming up here soon.
Next week, we'll be going away for a couple of weeks. So It looks like you were healthy for your time away. Looks like Dave's healthy for the time away that he's on right now. So the law of averages says I'm going to get ill in about 6 or 7 days, because it always happens with regularity, whether it's a full-on sickness or just a cold. Whenever you leave the office for a vacation, whether it's a week or 2, which is coming up for us, your body just says, you know what, we're going to play some tricks on you, and we're going to give you a little bit of turbulence for your vacation.
Well, a health expert has actually coined a term for that. It's called the letdown effect. And she says it's more common than we think, but she does have an idea about how to avoid it. So this physician, she said, when the body is used to functioning on high levels of stress hormones and then they suddenly decrease, your immune system gets exposed. Then you're prone to, minor infections and, just being tired. And she says that adrenaline can increase your muscle tension. She said sort of like imagine a rubber band being pulled tight, and then what happens when you let it go? It flings back.
Okay, so when you're doing your final few days of the office, you're just trying to get through it. You want to get healthy. You want to be okay. And then when you start vacation, you start to relax, but maybe you relax a little bit too much.
Yes, because she said it's like you go from being super stressed, trying to get everything set up so you can go off, nose to the grindstone. Maybe you're working overtime to get everything ready to go. And then all of a sudden you have nothing to do.
Right.
And so it's like, it's a, bounce back effect. So she says to avoid this, de-stress slowly with some downtime leading up to the time off.
Okay, so that's a way to go. Keep your body still on a medium level of something to do.
She also said to, instead of crashing and burning, try to maintain some activity or exercise while you're on holiday, so there isn't a massive decrease in your stress hormone levels, especially if you're someone that, is pretty active normally. Don't go on vacation and do absolutely nothing.
Don't become a sloth.
No. Because constantly running in a high stress, it's bad for you no matter what. So maybe try to figure out how to manage that stress a little better, and then you won't get sick. But this always happened to me when I was in university. That was when it was the worst.
Okay.
I'd make, it was like I was willing my body through exams. And then I come home, you get packed up, you come home at the end of the summer, immediately sick for a week.
Sick as a dog.
Yes. Every time. And I'd sleep for 10 hours a night. It was crazy.
So we have another week. We're not leaving until a week from Friday morning. So I think after the show today, into the bubble I go.
You've been listening to Dave and Cheryl's favorite moments of the week.